Hi guys, welcome back to Be Not Far From Me. Today I'll read you day 6. The dead bit of my foot is rotting by the door. It's getting warmer and the camper works like an oven. My foot a bad piece of meat cooking slow in the heat. I wake to the smell, sunlight slanted at an angle that tells me it's late afternoon and my tongue so dry it's swollen. The flask sits on the floor where I left it, miraculously intact after my kicking fit. I sit up slowly, deciding if I'm drunk, high, or coming down from both. It must be the last because even though I'm woozy, my foot hurts like shit set on fire. I unwrap the bandage to have a look. I'm swelled still, but the red lines of infection might be retreating. I tilt my foot in the sunlight, trying to gauge if that's true or if I've suddenly decided to be an optimist. But I think I'm right, and somehow the swelling looks less angry, which I know is hardly a medical term, but it somehow is completely accurate. I slide to the edge of the mattress, good foot first, and put my heel down in my own blood, now tacky and drying. The floor is covered, and it sticks to me like syrup as I get down on my butt, scooting over to the flask and the one granola bar I got left. I crawl past the piece of flint, still stuck in the linoleum like a tombstone for my foot. My foot thumps like my heart decided to vacate my chest and move down there. So I lean against the wall, propping it onto the counter and wiping my hands as clean as possible on my jeans. I swig back what's left of the water, even though it's flat and stale, and try to figure out how long I can afford to stay here. I don't know whose setup this is, but I do know that nobody stays away from this many pills for long. Judging by how my Uncle Chuck was dealt with for making junk meth on the side, I don't think the owner of this camper will take kindly to me knowing where their stash is kept, or kicking in their door for that matter. I'm a girl alone where she doesn't belong, and the one who will be presumed dead in a week or so. If someone were to finish off that process a little more quickly than nature intends and dump my body elsewhere, nobody would think anything of it, and that's if I ever get found in the first place. The pill bottles are still strewn across the floor, and I reach for one, feeling a little tug of resistance as my dry blood tries to keep it. The label's been torn off to hide who it's been stolen from, but the date it was filled is still up in the corner. I count backwards and figure out that it was filled maybe 10 days ago, which means somewhere between then and now, it got up to a ridge in the woods and somebody is going to be coming back sooner or later to fill all these little sandwich baggies with something that doesn't belong between two slices of bread. I rest my head against the wall, rolling the bottle back and forth across my palm and shifting my foot on the counter. There's a chance that the person who comes up here to count pills is decent like my uncle, just someone who needed to make a buck and cashed in on the only industry we've got left. They might give me the shirt off their back literally to cover my nakedness, draw me fresh water and other biblical stuff, and then take me to the ER, which isn't so Jesus-y, but would be a lot more helpful. They might. Or they might drag me out of here screaming, beat what's left of me into a pulp so that only my dental records can identify me. Or not worry about anybody ever finding me and end it quickly with a bullet to the head. I run my tongue over my teeth at the thought, dislodging the last crumbs of granola. I don't know how long I've been here, but I do know I'll leave on my own accord and not one drop of my blood spilled that I didn't shed myself. I also can't live on meth and whiskey, and the only things they seem to store out here are. Wherever I am is a far piece from anything else, and food won't find me. I've got to go to it. Might as well be heading towards something while looking for food rather than waiting for a drug dealer to show up and hoping he won't kill me and brought more granola. One more day, I say into the hot, close air of the camper. You get one more day. I find my dead bit of foot and put it in a sandwich bag. There's a weird comfort in having all of me back in one place as I crawl into the mattress. I've got an oxy in one hand and the bag in the other. I dry swallow the first and hold the second close to my chest. There's a small TV in the corner sitting precariously on a shelf that wasn't built to hold that kind of weight. It's the only kind of TV I've ever had, the heavy ones with so much ass on them you've got to wrap your arms around them to pick them up. No flat screens in my family, no sir. The screen can't show anything but a reflection now, the slats of the blinds and moonlight coming in. Makes me think about out with Meredith and Kativa one night, driving around looking for a field party. Jason and Duke were supposed to meet us at the gas station, but Uncle Chuck said they'd already come and gone and neither one of them was answering their phones, so we headed out to the back roads to find them ourselves. There were 3 different places we got together for drinking: an old abandoned barn on 149 under the bridge that the county closed a couple years ago, and if it was a hot summer, the dried up creek bed on the low side of the dam. We didn't find the boys or anyone else at any of the usual spots, so we ended up just cruising with nothing to do and nowhere to go. Until I spotted a TV in the ditch. I made Meredith stop and carried it back to the car, cutting my hand on the cracked screen when I put it in the back seat beside Kativa, who was working on a bottle of peppermint schnapps. I was pissed at Duke and Jason for leaving us behind and not answering their phones, angry at the person who threw anything they didn't want into a ditch, and ready to kill over the fact that their trash was something I couldn't have afforded in a month of Sundays. I had Meredith drive us back to the gas station and asked Uncle Chuck if I could put a TV in their dumpster. He didn't seem at all fazed by that. Sure, he said, eyeing me and Kativa over the rolls of lottery tickets. By the way, you're bleeding and your friend smells like a candy cane. He took an ace bandage off the shelf from my hand and gave Kativa a stick of gum and told us both to go home before we got pulled over. She helped me heave the flat screen into the trash, the broken pieces of 100 beer bottles grinding under her feet as we did. When we got back into the car, Meredith snapped off the music. I think I saw a microwave down by the creek out on 28, she said. And that's how I ended up drunk and wandering around the countryside with a car full of busted up housewares. By the end, we had that microwave, a blender, the footboard of a child's bed, 2 alarm clocks, and a lamp that still worked but needed a shade. We went back to Meredith's and she found one in her attic and draped a scarf over it while Kativa poured more schnapps. Duke texted around 1 in the morning to see if we wanted to hang out, and I took a selfie of the 3 of us snockered with middle fingers in the air, that lamp lighting up the room. It was the background of my phone for the longest time, me, my friends, and the ditch lamp. In it, I've got a bandage around my hand from the cut I got on the TV, and if I've looked at my palm right now, I could still see the scar, but I can't. I can't open my hand, and I can't even turn my head, and I don't even know if my eyes are shut or not. Everything is slippery again, and I think the balloons are back, especially the red one. Filled near to bursting and tempting me to swat at it so it can break, raining all the pain down on me. The blue and white one are there too, and now that I think about it, I guess maybe there are more than that, even. Like someone brought me a whole bunch of balloons, and they thought it was a gift, but all it really does is make me think of something I've done wrong for each one, or somebody I hurt. My mom's up there still, and Duke, but so's Dad from the time I blamed him for her leaving. Meredith and Kativa are here too. I can feel them hovering, reminding me of every time I made Meredith feel dumb or disappointed Kativa by not being a better person. There's a whole cloud of bad hovering over me, and all I can do is pull Davy Beats' hat down tighter on my head. Even though everyone I'm thinking about makes me feel bad one way or another, I'd get anything to have one of them here with me right now. So I do the only thing I can think of and start calling for them. I yell for my mom and my dad, Meredith and Kativa, Davy Beat, and Jesus too. I call for Duke in the end because Jesus is all about love and forgiveness. And while that's nice, what I really need is someone with basic first aid and training and enough muscle mass to carry me out of here. When I'm done yelling, I cry. That's it till next time.